What is up, guys? It is Zach Plochet, and this is part 4 of the How to Work from Home video series. Today, we're going to be covering how to find work online. Finding work is the title of this video. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. I already made the map today, so this call will be a lot more structured. This recording or this video will be a lot more structured. So let's talk about what we're going to cover. This is a gigantic map of basically how to become a freelancer and become really successful at it. And like I said before, it's a process. Sure, it's a lot of kind of different processes, but really it's just one process with a lot of smaller parts. So yeah, let's begin at the 10,000 foot view. And we're only going to be covering a part of this today, and we'll be covering the other parts on, let's see, today's Thursday, on Saturday. So today's Thursday, and we're going to, let's make sure my laptop's charging. There we go. Cool beans. Dunskies. All right. So we are here at the 10,000 foot view. As you can see, there's a lot of stuff here. We're only going to be focusing on right here, unemployed. So this is the starting point of the 10,000 foot view. We have two parts where people typically will start, and then where they're kind of the next step in the process to get to where you're earning money at home. There are still other ways of working at home that don't involve you being a freelancer, that involve you just being a remote work employee, and that's more so in like customer service jobs. But this video is targeted specifically for people who want to have some skill that's kind of allows them to work on their own and be in their own business. So right here is the starting point. Most people, as of right now, who have lost their jobs in coronavirus or during the coronavirus, or are just struggling, or even like have a job during the coronavirus, but they want to do maybe something else, or they're just doing nothing and are still getting paid from their previous employers. That's typically where people will start. The next step in the 10,000 foot overview, so this is really high level, is to become a platform freelancer. Now, what does that mean? Online, there are a ton of different platforms in which you will have to kind of build up your profile and then find clients on there. So it's basically like if you've ever played like any video game that has like a quest or job board, it's a lot like that. If you have ever seen a newspaper, I know most of you might not have, that's okay. I sound like an old person. I actually have no idea how to use a newspaper. So either way, there are sometimes like job columns or job boards where people are looking for help. It's pretty much the same thing online, except it's a lot more direct in finding the work. So that's where we're at. We're going to cover everything else on Saturday. So let's talk about platform freelancing. Here is the process of actually succeeding there. So with online freelancing, you're going to want to know a couple things right before you actually begin. And by a couple things, I actually mean one. I don't know why I said a couple. The first thing that I recommend doing as you're starting your freelancing career is the first thing you want to do, because this has to do with how you price yourself, is find your, what I call, well, what my mentor taught me and what he calls your survivability number. So this is all of your expenses, all of your, so basically you take all of your expenses and multiply that by 1.4, and that's how much money you should be making a month. So all of your monthly expenses, add up all of those numbers, multiply it by 1.4, and that's how much you should be making. The reason behind that is because in order for you to survive, in order for your business to survive, Not only do you have to pay for your expenses, but you also need money to cover to weather the storms, so to speak. So that's where this number comes from. Let's see here. So yeah, find your survivability number, and I'll show you exactly how I did the same thing. So if we go to my, here, wait, I'm gonna stop sharing for a second, and I'll still be here. So I'm gonna open up my Google Drive, go to my document containing my own survivability numbers, and I'll show you exactly what that looks like. All right, cool beans. Let's do, give me just a second. It's loading, it's working. Any day now. Okay, that works. All right, I don't know what else it's waiting on, so I'm just gonna say whatever. All right, this is what we're gonna do. Let's go ahead and share screen. Okay, so this is a gigantic, really, it's just a huge calculator that I built to track exactly what I'm teaching you. So we're gonna start over here. So over here is what, I'll just explain this kind of calculator to you. You can get access to this if you would like. I would just go ahead and comment or send me a personal message if you're interested in that. Most likely it's better if you send that on email or just put it in the comments. So here's what we have. So in this whole section right here, this is all of my expenses. And here I have a calculator that calculates all the stuff that I told you about automatically. And then over here is the numbers that I need to be hitting every month to take care of my expenses. And over here is the time or sales investment calculator. So this is how many hours I need to work at a certain price or how many sales I need to make at a certain price in order to hit my goals. So let's talk about this a bit more in depth, just so you can have a clue of what I'm talking about. So monthly investments. I call them investments because they're things that I invest in. Actually, I'm not using this anymore. I'm using other stuff that I haven't put in here. Bloop. Okay, exit out that. Great. So yeah, it barely went down. So right now, this is the amount of money that I need to be making, or that these are my expenses every month that I need if I want to survive just anywhere while I'm traveling. So like my rent now is actually a lot cheaper than just paying for an Airbnb, so that's cool. But I want to have that number because it's kind of like just in worst case scenario, these are my expenses. Let's see. These are my business expenses. I put these in a different category because these are deductible because they're for my business. And by my business, I mean myself. So we'll keep going there. Zero sum calculator. Yeah, so here's the huge calculator that I have that calculates everything. Yeah, this just basically counts for everything. You can make it as complicated or not as you want. Either way, let's go to the next part, total goal numbers. Let's see. Yes. So this is pretty much the main one that I need to set up here, or that I have set up here. So total goal numbers, this is like my personal plus my wife's goal numbers, and then the business ones. So everything added up, I need to be making, let's see, the total expenses ends up being about $3,000. With that multiplied by 1.4 ends up being about 4.2K in total. So I need to be making this number, I need to be hitting this in order for myself and my business to be thriving and yeah, just really succeeding, at least at a base level. There are a couple other numbers that I can cover really quick that just are more so for expanding on these first ones. So there's Thrivability Number, which is your survivability number times 2, and then there's your financial freedom number, which is the same thing but times 4. These are all from my mentor Ryan Donaldson. He has a whole course. Actually, I'm not sure if this is in his course. I'll have to ask him. Either way, this is the main number I use to focus on, and yeah, I need to be making 4.3K. So again, calculate, add up all of your numbers, multiply it by 1.4, or add up all your expenses, multiply that by 1.4, and you have your survivability number. Now, in order to calculate your hourly rate, first you have to decide how many hours you want to work. So for me, I really value time with my family, for example. So my specific goal when I started freelancing was I want to be making 1.4 of my total expenses and only have to work 20 hours a week. So this is my number right here. And everything over here are different ways for me to reach my survivability number. So basically, each one of these, depending on how many hours I can work, and this is for the whole month. All of these numbers are on a monthly basis. So yeah, so 80 hours. If I want to work 80 hours, or if I want to do only 20 hours a week, like maximum, this is the number I need to be hitting. If I need to be making $53.24 an hour. If I wanted to do 60 hours, let's say, it would be 70, and it just keeps going up. So I need to either make $80 or 80. I'd either need to work 80 hours or make 80 sales at this price. And if I wanted to work less, I'd need to be doing these kind of numbers. So if I could get to the point where if let's say you want to hit your survivability number in just one thing, you would need to somehow figure out how to charge per hour. So maybe as a consultant or something like that, or make a sale of $4,259.04. And you'd be done. You'd be good for the month if you wanted to. Which, believe it or not, is possible. You just need to be able to provide 4.2K dollars in value to some client that's willing to pay that amount. So that's pretty much where you start. That's how you calculate your hourly rate, and that's the first step. Next, you want to know your market valuable skills to some degree. So here, this is just something where it comes down to knowing yourself. So another way to put this is understand your skills, or what skills you want to grow, then develop them. So you don't need to be a master here, but you do need to have your skills down to some degree, because if you say you can do something and you can't really do it, or it's a really long learning curve in order for you to complete some task, you pretty much, most of the time, you don't want to do it unless you're pretty sure you can accomplish it just through learning and Googling stuff, just through your own research in a reasonable amount of time. So yeah, know what you have to bring to the table for your clients. That's the next step. So assuming you have your skills and assuming you know your survivability number, next is this. You want to create an account on pretty much every freelancing platform, at least at a basic level. So the reason you want to do that is because platforms change, things change. While you should only focus on probably 1 to 2 at most, you want to kind of test the waters and see which ones you survive in, or which ones you do the best in. So let's see. There's 2 ways to kind of go from here. So again, the next step is set yourself up on or create an account on each of these freelancing platforms. And then this is where you kind of go from here. So as you're learning a skill, there's two ways you can go. Once you have the skill, like if you're getting paid for the skill specifically, you can go the route of actually freelancing. If you want to, let's say you can, well, I know for a fact you can also tutor your skills online. So as you're building a skill, you can teach people what you know. You might feel like you're pretty stupid at a skill because you're looking at like the super top professionals in your field. That's not the case. You don't have to be that. You just have to be able to reach people at their level, which means like someone can be a beginner and they want to learn just something about this skill. They're interested in getting over a certain hurdle that you might have already passed or something like this. This is where you can start. That's why I put do first here, because you can already start teaching. Yeah. So, you can teach. There's a couple of platforms that are really cool. Wyzant is one of the most important ones, I would say, as far as being able to teach anything like math, science, coding, music theory, if you know that. Really like whatever skill, chess, a lot of stuff. I'd say it's the most versatile from what I've seen. Take lessons is kind of cool, but I haven't really found so much success with it. Mostly because like you can't outreach to people, so it's kind of useless in my opinion. But I've heard some people do really good on it. I'm just haven't figured that one out. Code Mentor is really cool if you're teaching code. I actually didn't get approved on it yet, but you have to wait 6 months between the times when you start and the times you get. Like if you send a proposal and you don't make it, you have to wait 6 months. So I didn't get approved the first time, but now that I've kind of built up my coding skills more and my reputation online, that can work. The other route is actual skills. So this is where you're actually getting paid to perform your skills for clients. Open platform, that's here. I don't know. Yeah, so open platforms is more. Yeah, I put this here for a reason. So there's two kinds of platforms when it comes to actually doing your skill. There's the open platforms, where pretty much anyone can join, and there's a lot more competition. And I'll teach you how to break past that too on the next video. And then these involve, mostly these platforms are the top two that I can think of. There's also one, Fiverr. I don't really use Fiverr, but I've seen it work for a lot of people. So let's just add this here. Fiverr is one of them. And let's add all of this. All right, that's not, there we go. Cool. So these are the three main platforms that I'm aware of: Upwork, Freelancer.com, and Fiverr. You might find some other ones that might be specific to the skill you're wanting to learn online, and that's cool. That also works. You can get some pretty good work on here, and we'll talk about more on how to scale up your profile on each one to get a lot more success with it. The next part, since I'm only covering the really beginner material right now, so let's keep going. You can actually send proposals here, so it's not a bad start. Oh yeah, that was just about these two. Cool beans. Yeah, so all three of these, or all of these, I should say, can lead to your create a livable wage as a freelancer, because that's the end goal of all of this. So the first thing you want to do, set up your profile on all of these, or whichever ones are relevant to you. Upwork is going to be relevant to most people, all of these three. Wyzant too, maybe take lessons. Code Mentor, if you're a code monkey, that can work for you. Now, let's talk about your platform success map. Here's the only parts that we're going to cover today. So all the way up to here. Let's do this. So this is how you succeed on pretty much any platform. So you want to set up your profile first and foremost, like I told you, and this is what you need. The first thing that you're going to want on your profile is a nice profile picture. Let me show you mine, just for example's sake, wyzant.com. And I will log in right here. let me show you what I got. This is my profile. Actually, wait, profile. So this is my profile on Wyzance. This is a tutoring platform that lets you have a ton of different things you can teach. Actually, I can go ahead and show you that too right after this. So this is my profile. I have this really nice picture, a really good, useful headline, because for the most part, my professional skill is being a Python, well, a quote unquote Python developer. Really, I'm just a developer. The tools doesn't really matter. I just really like Python, and that's what I started with. So that's what I am for now until I build out my skills further. Or I'll just develop them more with Python. We'll see. Either way, nice profile picture, first part. You have a kind of SEO optimized, or I should say search engine optimized title, and a description that describes all of your experience, why you can teach people, why you're the best for the job. That's what I have here. Ooh, that's fun. There's a bee. Is he gone? Hold on a second. Give me just a moment. All right, we took care of the bee. He is free and flying out in nature. So let's get back to it. Go ahead and share. Yeah, so let's go back over the part of this. So again, nice profile picture. That just involves a clear picture of your face, good lighting. Let's see. Just a good professional picture of you. Personally, I like to make it look like I'm about to start working on whatever it is that I work on. So that's why in this one, I have a picture of myself behind a laptop with headphones, cool shirt, and an interesting background. This is actually just a wall at an Airbnb I was staying at. This picture took me so long to find. So yeah, that's pretty much all the tips for a picture I got. As far as your headline, really this part just takes a bit of research and knowing what your field is, like knowing what you're doing. For example, with Python, the three main things you can do with it are web development, automation, and data science. So that's why I'm learning all of those. So it's really, it's pretty simple. I just add all of the main ones, and I find a lot of students with all of them. Bio, yeah, this is a really huge bio that you can check out. I recommend, if you're going to do this, just write like a bio about yourself in general. Doesn't really matter how you write it. Just as long as you have, like, just tell your story of your professional experience, and specifically write your professional experience. Write exactly what a person who is looking to find someone to tutor them, or like some skill that you want people to hire you for, right? Whatever is relevant to that one. So hope that makes sense. If you need me to expand on that, just let me know in the comments or send me a message on Instagram or Facebook. That would be good enough. And yeah, so SEO headline, damn good description. And the last thing that you're going to want to do pretty much throughout your whole online career and just career in general is you're going to want to build your portfolio. So that's just a matter of getting your own projects. Like I put here, build your own projects, get jobs, learn how to display them on your own website as well. So let me show you kind of what I mean. Your portfolio can be, what's the best way to put this? It's just like a way for people to find you. So some people have a, like some of the websites that I've talked about, like Upwork, they allow you to put portfolio projects in your profile. For if you want to have kind of your own thing, this is something that I personally recommend, is creating your own website. So just yourname.com or some alteration of your name if you have a pretty common name. So for example, my name is Zach Plochet. I have my own website, zachplochet.com. And it'll take a second to load here because I'm currently hosting it on Heroku, and it's on a free, what is it? I forget what the dyno is called, but it's on some free hosting that takes a second to load up for now. Till I move it over to DigitalOcean, and it's a lot faster. So this is my website. This whole thing is my portfolio at the same time. Also, I have a portfolio section. So here I have a couple of my projects. It's not all of them. I just haven't updated it in a while. But basically, I can click on it. It shows exactly what it is. It gives a description, a customizable reflection application that lets the user walk through their favorite questions or activities to get them in their most productive desired headspace. But either way, long version is just something to it's just a way to display your work and your projects. One student that I built a project for, she had she was building a personal site, and we just added like a resume section, and then there was like a downloadable version of a resume as well as a post, as well as just like the resume in HTML or website content format. So kind of like a blog post, it was just like that. So yeah, that's what I mean by portfolio, some way for you to display your projects. If you're interested in me building your portfolio, I can also do that. Just a little self-promotion action. And that's pretty much the first steps of this. Tomorrow, I'm going to be covering on how to actually find the work. And we will go from there. So, yep, that about covers the video. We'll talk more about each of these platforms and how to find work on them specifically, and where to go next after that. So thank you for watching. If you like the content, don't forget to subscribe. That would be amazing. I'd be really grateful, and I will provide you a lot of valuable content, both now and in the future. So until next time, bye for now. After I close out, of course. And end the meeting.